Asheville, North Carolina is the venue for the third event in this year's Challenger World Series, the US Challenge, presented by Fortune, with the otherwise tranquil Blue Ridge Mountains the setting for 2 days and 5 stages of intense mental and physical competition. This event is the last chance for teams to qualify for the series final, the World Team Challenge. And in the previous rounds, we've seen the best intelligent sport teams from the UK and Europe battle for those highly prized tickets to Florida. Now it's the turn of the Americans to find their best challengers to take on the cream of Europe at the World Team Challenge in Florida next month. Judging by the form in last year's World Team Challenge, it's not looking too good for the teams on the west side of the Atlantic. And at one point it looked like they might end up getting swamped by it. So this year the top European teams are confident.
Well, we didn't have any trouble with the Americans last year and we're not expecting any trouble this year.
Last year in Spain, the Americans were overwhelmed by the European teams as Airbus from the UK took the world title with not an American in sight at the finish. In their defense, we have to remind you that while intelligent sport is relatively new to America, it's been in existence in the UK and Europe for around 15 years, beginning as a set of events to build teams for businesses, but over that time evolving into a highly competitive international series. Each event is made up of a number of stages, and the first thing we have to say is that it's never a simple matter of a race from A to B. Teams also have to work out a strategy to score time bonuses by visiting extra checkpoints like these, completing tasks, or solving mental problems. So the first team to cross the line is not necessarily the winner, but every team has to make sure they do get across the line within the stage time limit. Most stages last for 2 or 3 hours, and if you're late back, there are big time penalties which count against your bonuses, and if you're really late, the loss of all your bonuses altogether.
Yep. 2 yellows. Hang on, we've got 5 whites.
The first qualifying round, the Microsoft UK Challenge, saw 113 teams, all with a solid grip on these rules, and GCHQ came out on top. In that event, they beat world champions Airbus, whose second place was enough to secure the chance to defend their title in Florida. In the next round, the Cisco Euro Challenge, Scania were the winners, setting up an epic clash with the British teams in Florida. All these teams are masters of intelligent sport. The question is whether the Americans have learned enough from last year's experience and will learn enough from the inaugural US Challenge to put up a real fight this time around. Every stage is an original creation of the course planners and is top secret until it starts. So no matter which Challenger World event you're looking at, the mayhem of the rush for stage instructions is always the same. 31 teams about to get their first taste of the least intelligent part of this sport. Team Apex are first to get hold of the vital papers with the stage instructions. A certain amount of bafflement and bewilderment is to be expected here, along with the excitement. But plenty of these teams have done their research and know what to expect, and also come here with a pedigree in endurance sport.
We're all athletes, bikers, runners. We got them all. We got really intelligent people. We're ready for hard work. The harder the better.
Being the inaugural event, it might be a little bit tough. We don't know what to expect when we're getting out there today. But I think we'll pull off all right. We'll be all right.
A steep learning curve is guaranteed, as well as a steep set of climbs as they head out into the Blue Ridge Mountains. So what is Stage 1 all about? Well, in essence, it's just an 8-mile circular running route through the mountains, with 4 compulsory checkpoints that have to be visited, as well as a few rumoured bears to be avoided. Washington are confident, but they won't succeed by sticking to the minimum route. There are 4 bonus points which can be included on your route. Getting all of these would increase the running distance to around 12 miles, but could mean the difference between winning and losing. In between the checkpoints, teams can split up, and this is what Washington Group have done. They've got an impressive strategy, are sticking to it, and are one of the few teams to attempt to reach bonus point 1.
2 red lights is good. Team 7.
Other teams are finding they need to adjust their strategy as the stage unfolds.
I really think we just need to focus on these checkpoints. If we get a bonus on the way, let's go. Let's roar through these and freaking finish.
But well, I think...
Listen to me, guys.
Hang on a second.
Shall we stick with our plan A, which is go get this one, get number one first?
For others, the only strategy now is how to get out of here and back to the hotel.
What happened?
Twist my ankle.
Tommy.
You don't decide that I have no support.
You don't know, so I have to leave the other side? Really? God, it's too early in the game.
I know.
In true Challenger World style, though, teams find themselves faced with a dilemma when they reach checkpoint 3. In the Ford Explorer Link section, teams come across a row of parked vehicles and are offered a ride in them which will save them from a couple of miles of uphill map contours. The catch is they have to find the highlighted numbers on this Sudoku puzzle before they can climb aboard. Teams have to decide quickly whether they can solve the puzzle faster than they can just run the section. Washington Group have made all the right decisions so far, but haven't done quite as well here as other teams who are learning fast that there are usually ways to come up with time-saving strategies on these stages.
Because we had two of us that were good, solid runners, strong runners, and two of us that are a little brighter than the other two. So we felt like we'd send those two guys to solve the puzzle while we went and got bonus point 4. So it worked out. We got there. They solved the puzzle about 5-10 minutes after we got there. Hopped in the Ford Explorer. It was the greatest ride I've ever had in my life.
It'll be hard for them to get back if they didn't get the ride, because it's a good just 2.5 mile all uphill, and then after that you have another 2 miles to get here.
So Apex are first into the cars and away up the hill, but the big fear for many teams is that you'll spend time trying to solve the puzzle, fail, and have to run anyway.
Get your breath and do this. Not yet? Gonna run it?
60 different combinations, no thanks.
After a quick look at the numbers, some teams decide to cut their losses early and just run for it. Infocision were another confident team before the start, and they make the right decision here.
The best moment was when we solved the puzzle and got the trip up the hill. That hill, boy, it was big, and we did not want to have to walk it. So that truck ride up was a glorious celebration for about 10 minutes.
You didn't pick anybody up? No, give them no.
Oh, absolutely no. But we did get some encouragement as we drove by them all.
Yeah, go!
And then we took a drink of water and got out of the car. So it's a great time.
Apex are first out of the car and can now head for the stage finish.
Was the puzzle easy?
It's not if you didn't.
They're about to learn one more thing about the Challenger World Series, though.
Who's got us? This the right way?
They won't tell us.
Oh, they don't tell us?
Don't expect any help from the organizers. Eventually finding the finish line all by themselves, Apex are first over it. This doesn't mean they won the stage, though, as the matter of feeding times and time bonuses into the Challenger World computers before we'll know that, and Apex could have done better on the bonus front.
It was tough. It was really tough, but we played hard. We had a strategy. We executed it, made one tactical error, but we'll see how that plays out. But we feel great about what we've done so far.
Washington Group are next in, and with more time bonuses.
Was fantastic.
Best bit?
Technical, best bit. The downhill, of course. Downhill was awesome. Oh, man.
They take the overall lead. Apex are fourth, paying the price for finishing quickly without scoring enough bonuses on the way. But at least they weren't laid back. 26 teams were, caught out by the rough North Carolina terrain and spending too long on the Sudoku, then having to run anyway. It's a bike stage next, and Washington Group are buoyed up from winning the first stage of the U.S. Challenge.
Biking's my favorite sport, so I think we're going to do well on this one.
What about the rest of the team?
Oh, they're psyched. They're pumped. They're great.
What have you learned from this morning?
Strategy, teamwork strategy. That's the key, and we did it this morning. We did a great job, and I think we'll do it again.
But while Stage 1 was just a gentle loosener for the body and the mind, Stage 2 is a full-on intelligent sport workout. Teams will have to use bikes to play a game of fantasy football, American style. At the start, they're given a dream team of 11 American football players, one for each offensive position, and the idea is to sell them all to NFL agents for as much money as possible. To sell the players, teams have to reach agent points hidden away amongst the Blue Ridges. The strategy comes in the next part. Some agents will pay more for players than others, and you need to plan a route that will raise the most money while getting rid of the whole team. An ambitious strategy always comes at a certain price, of course. The highest paying agents are at the top of the highest, hardest tracks. Washington Group are going well yet again, and most importantly, keeping a cool head and sticking to their strategy.
We had a chart to start with. We went to all the information points. We filled out how much each one was, and then we got together and figured out what was the closest APs and what was the most points that we could get out of it.
How are you doing?
Exhausted.
Not only are the strategic demands more complex on this stage, it's physically tougher as well. And Infocision are finding that their strength lies more on the mental side.
I got no feeling left below the waist. Just cramps. Lost my teeth. Had to put them back in.
Whether the dental work was from a bike crash here or some previous misadventure, we don't know. Whatever, everyone on the course today had better have their medical insurance fully paid up. Welcome back to Asheville, North Carolina and the US Challenge. It's stage 2, fantasy football. And by now, the overall leaders, Washington Group, have sold enough virtual footballers to put in an order for a new pool and a private jet. And one of the few teams matching them on the millionaires list today are Cisco Systems. They were third on stage 1 and are now looking like the biggest threat to Washington's business plan of winning the event.
You got the hardest ones and paid off, I think. It was a struggle, but it was good. Hopefully we'll go to Worlds. That's the goal now.
Getting high gear.
As any sports agent will tell you, even if you amass a fortune, with one mistake you can just as soon lose it again. And this is just as true on the intelligent sport version of the business. On any Challenger World stage, if you're more than 15 minutes late finishing, you lose all of your bonuses.
Oh, we sold them all. We don't have any left. So we got rid of them all. Didn't want to bring anything back.
They become valueless in 8 minutes.
Come on!
Add this to a slow time and 2 seconds penalty for every second you're late, and some teams are looking at bankruptcy.
Ridgeline trailed.
Kicked her.
Where are they?
These guys are already late, but will lose everything if the rest of the team don't arrive soon.
We got our team captain and then one of our teammates back there. They're hurting. It'll be good though. Come on, Brett! We're gonna head back and find them. So we'll see what happened. So, I think we're gonna just have to lose all our players. Oh well, keep the team together.
Most teams by now have learned the lesson from stage 1. Get back on time, whatever happens. Cisco never needed to be taught that lesson anyway.
We didn't have any penalties last time, and it put us in a good position coming into this race. So I think that it was smart of us to come in early and not get any extra penalties.
And the 2 top teams in the competition at the moment prove to be equally smart on this stage. Cisco and Washington tie for first on the stage, along with 4 other teams, all with a time of 1 hour 20 minutes after corrections for bonuses.
It's getting tougher, but it's getting interesting. We wanted to be conservative. We did not want to go over the time so that we don't want to lose points or we don't want to lose time.
United Stationers did intend to get back on time, of course. It just didn't work out that way. The result is a stage time of 3 hours 35 minutes, and when the team finally meets up at the finish, they find the event staff packing up and getting ready to move on and set up stage 3. Tenth after stage 1, a position that would have taken them to the World Team Challenge, but Florida looks a lot further away now.
We ended up going to the wrong place and missing a couple of trails and wasted about 45 minutes out there. And if we didn't do that, we would have been okay. Well, I think we're the only team that came in last. And that's what we wanted to avoid, was coming in last. But we made a really big mistake out there, and we learned from that. So.
Washington Group, on the other hand, are heading south to Florida with the top down and the stereo on full blast. Or at least they will be once this event is finished. Along with Cisco, they look like a safe bet as World Team Challenge qualifiers, and there are 3 stages left for them to hone their skills and, of course, to fight for victory in this event. Stage 3 is a typical Challenger World night stage. Teams running to checkpoints and solving logic problems. Here's one for you to have a go at, and you've got about 4 minutes to solve it, which is a lot longer than these people get if they're to answer all 12, and a lot longer than Washington Group need as they win yet another stage. Take notice, Europe.
What threw me off was, how can you be 1,100 miles from New York and only 300 miles from Boston? I didn't understand that at all.
That's not the way it works. Lateral thinking caps need to be on here, though stage 4 is more of a memory game, with teams taking to the water for a brief look at photographs and images they'll be questioned on later.
You got your pass, huh?
Yes.
Careful, guys.
It's exciting. It's nerve-wracking right now. We're trying to strategize not to make a mistake. It's critical at this point that we remain in the lead. It's been working well so far. We're trying to continue making a plan, stick to the plan, but at the same time stay flexible enough to adjust and not get ahead of ourselves. Woo! Rock!
Another capital performance, another stage win, though it's hardly all over in intelligent sport terms. A 50-minute lead can easily be overturned by one mistake that leads to a penalty, and there's plenty of scope for that on the final stage.
So what's the strategy now with 1 stage to go?
Now it's, the pressure's on to try to make up some time.
Plenty of possibility there for Cisco. Construction stages have been the making or breaking of teams before, and here the task is basically a highly complicated way of liberating a ball from a plastic container. Then you have to carry that ball to the finish, which is miles of paddling, pedaling and running from here, with the final destination Biltmore House, said to be the largest house in the United States and certainly the most stunning. All quiet there at the moment, but that'll change soon enough. Or maybe not so soon. The event seems to be in the bag for Washington Group, but in intelligent sport, the moment you start believing that is the time for things to start going wrong. Failure to produce the ball at the finish means a loss of time bonuses. Failing this task is not an option.
The nerves are wrecked.
And Cisco aren't making things any better for her.
Okay. You ready, Wes?
They're first to complete the task and are heading for the finish, while Washington are yet to put together a coherent plan. Time to reach for the Prozac, perhaps. While other teams like Blackwater, currently in 4th, are heading for a complete nervous breakdown.
Would you please? It moves. If there's enough weight on it, it will move it across. Move! Move!
Eventually a plan does emerge. You might call it lateral thinking, or you might call it desperation, but they've reversed the basic function of a bucket in their attempts to complete the stage.
We don't know what we're playing.
Eric, help me on the brace. So secret we don't even know. I'm dipping!
Cisco, by now, are scenting a possible upset in their own
Tony,
favour.
Run!
And are about to start the first stage of the triathlon that will take them to the finish. The event leaders have been like a machine so far. It's building a machine that's caught them out.
It seemed more simple than it is, yeah. And in hindsight, when you see some of the other teams, we could have worked the strategy a bit better and should have invested more time in that. But we'll be okay.
The leaders only slightly worried, and while Blackwater still have a hole in their bucket, they can't get the bucket high enough. More water required, and while this method might be more inspired by a nursery rhyme than by rocket science, there is eventually success. But they need to keep their eye on the ball, or at least keep it somewhere safe. It has to be shown to the marshals near the stage finish to score a time bonus. Washington have completed the task as well, but one thing's for sure, they won't win this stage like they won all the others. Cisco are miles ahead, which means Washington might not even win the event. Time's nearly up for these teams, and it's up for you too. Here's the answer to the problem from stage 3, which had nothing to do with actual distances. But that's it for the clever stuff in this competition. Now it's time for all the teams to just get their heads down and get through a few more agonizing miles to reach the finish. Cisco is still well ahead as they approach the end, but they should have been listening when we said you had to keep your eye on the ball on this stage. They arrive just a few hundred meters from the finish at the place it has to be presented to the marshals, and they can't find it.
You can't dip, you'll just finish down at the end. It's in your notes. Go ahead and you can finish, you can still finish. This is just bonus points.
So let's finish together. What?
We have to finish together. We're gonna pick up the ping pong ball.
Whoa, we got the ping pong ball.
Oh, we got it? Okay, sorry, we got
it. All right. Wait a minute.
Not exactly a slick way to finish, but the whole drama has a happy ending as the ball is found.
All right, let's go.
Go! I'll catch you. Go! Run!
Just the final run down to the finish in front of Biltmore House.
Lay him down. Let's go. Let's go.
Washington, of course, are unaware of all this excitement, but know they need to finish as soon as possible.
Are you fast enough to win? We'll see. Time will tell.
Come on, we can do it. Let's go.
A smooth performance overall from Washington Group. But there won't be any room for less than perfect stages like this one if they're going to make an impact at the World Team Challenge. Still, it's good enough for them to take victory at the inaugural US Challenge, well ahead of any of the other top 10 teams who'll be taking on the world with them in Florida.
It feels fantastic. Oh my goodness. It feels...
How does that feel, guys?
Oh, yeah. Florida bound or not, America's first encounter with intelligent sport has been unforgettable for many.
This is incredible. I mean, it pushes you to the limits where, you know, you come together as a team and you just push yourselves to the end. I mean, it's one of the best experiences of my life, I'll tell you that.
So, after 3 qualifying events, 18 stages and 204 teams who've taken part in this year's Challenger World Series, we're down to the best 27, who'll be going head-to-head in Florida to wrestle the world title from Airbus. Though with their strongest squad back in play, this is going to be pretty tough to do. They'll have to watch out for the unknown quantity of teams they've never taken on before, like Washington Group, familiar rivals like fellow Brits GCHQ and Accenture, as well as their old nemesis Scania from Sweden. Judging by the action from last year's World Team Challenge, right now the course planners will be devising some uniquely difficult stages to turn up the heat mentally and physically on every team. One slip from any of the favorites could mean the end of their chances. Join us in Alligator Country for the decider.